I always love that. All right. As we kick off the meeting, I'd like to once again just welcome you to the Bryanston Breakfast Club. Oh, I forgot to change the date. Excuse me for that. This is where A players come to find their confidence. It is a thing that has been made popular by Adrian, which we love very much. What's going on? Our leadership, where A players come to find their confidence and refine their leadership. Our culture eats strategy for breakfast. Today we are just opening it. This is our, where is it? Sorry, guys. This is our 157th club meeting and our 36th Zoom meeting. So we're really happy about that. Sorry, why is this not playing with me today? Oh, we've got a visitor entering the room. Okay. As part of the new strategy to, just encourage us to remind us of who we are in our roles as Toastmasters, this is one of the things we agreed to implement. So I'd like us to just take the moment, or a few moments, to just quickly pledge. Is it the pledge? I think it's called a pledge. Reformalize ourselves. It's a pledge, yes? Or with the Toastmasters pledge. So as per the last time, I would actually like to invite Thandeka to read the pledge today. So as Thandeka reads through the pledge, all you have to, after every sentence that she makes, all you have to do is say I meaning I agree to what is being said. Thandeka, can I hand over to you and ask you to take us through the pledge, please?
Okay, thank you. As a member of Toastmasters International and my club, I promise to attend club meetings regularly.
Aye.
To prepare all of my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on the Toastmasters education program.
Aye.
To prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments.
Aye.
To provide fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluations.
Aye.
To help the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow.
Aye.
To serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so.
Aye.
To treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy.
Aye.
To bring guests to club meetings so they can see the benefits Toastmasters membership offers.
Aye.
To adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters education and recognition programs.
Aye.
To act within Toastmasters' core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities.
Aye.
We give Thandeka a round of applause. Thank you all. Thank you very much, Thandeka, for taking us through the pledge. I really love that it flowed a lot better than the first time we did it. We were off to a rough start, but now we've got good momentum going. Looking forward to just reading it in the next meeting. So today we do have our honored guest, Fanuel Mariti. I hope I'm saying it correctly. Thank you very much for joining our club. Would you like to just unmute and say hi so we can hear your amazing voice?
Hello, how are you? Thank you for having me. All right, great.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Manuel. Just briefly, I'd like to introduce you to all the members that are in the team. Today, we've got our immediate past president, Dino Leprini, who's in the red shirt. We've got Thandeka Mtlenge, still getting her surname right, who's our treasurer. We've got Adrian Hind, who is our VPE and VPM, VP Vice President Education and Vice President Membership. And myself, I'm the President of the club. Thank you very much for honoring us with your visit today. We're looking forward to engaging with you.
Thank you.
So our meeting theme today is using your voice, or your voice as an instrument of creation. And our practice prompt as part of our education session is, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Learn, express yourself freely. The whole idea behind our meeting theme is vocal variety. So as part of Toastmasters, or as part of being a public speaker, one of the things that we're taught to do is practice our vocal variety. It's not about what you say, but it's how you say it, adding the emotion in that. So as we go through the club meeting today, I'd like you guys to think back to the times when you were children telling stories. Remember how you always used to change your voice, high pitch, low pitch, very fast, very slow, just to add the dramatic effect to your story. And so as part of the club, I'd like you to relive your childhood in that sense and play around with your vocal variety. What's cooking on the menu today? If you haven't yet already seen it, our agenda is in your email inboxes. So please have a look at it. For the purpose of our visitors, Fanuel, I will also just post it in the chat for today. So that is the welcoming and introduction session of the meeting today. I'd like to now call forward our role players, our various role players for today. So starting with our general evaluator, Tandeka, could you please let us know what is your role for today?
Thank you, Toastmaster. My role today, good morning, Fanuel, welcome. My role today is as general evaluator. I'm going to be evaluating our meeting under general. I'll be looking at timeliness, enthusiasm, preparation of participants, organization of the meeting, and performance of duties that we've been allocated. I've also been assigned a task of evaluating the table topics. That is my role for today. Thank you, Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. Feedback is the breakfast of champions, and so evaluations are at the core of everything that we do. And that is why our General Evaluator is one of the key role players in our development as individuals. Our second role player today would be myself. I'll be your grammarian and R counter. As part of the grammarian and R counter role, I will be looking out for the interesting use of the English dictionary, of the English language, not dictionary. And I will be making note of filler words such as and all your personal favorites such as and. The word of the day for today is create, or created. Create meaning to bring something into existence, or created meaning having brought something into existence. All right, the purpose of the word of the day as well is to encourage us to grow our vocabulary. So I'm looking forward to hearing you create. Nope, that was not going to work. That was a failed use of the word. I'm looking forward to creating an amazing meeting with you guys today. Our next role player, Adrian, would you like to be our timekeeper for today?
Yes, I've got my phone in front of me, so I'll be the timekeeper. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Adrian. Would you like to give us an indication of the times today, or your role, please?
Okay. For Dino's speech, I think it's 5. You can correct me if I'm wrong. It's 5 to 7 minutes, and then I'll try and find something green, red. Now, what I'll do is I'll just put one finger up. Is your 3 minutes? 2 fingers go up, not a rude sign. 4 minutes, and then 5 minutes. Yeah.
5 minutes, green. 6
Oh,
minutes.
yeah.
Orange.
1, 2, 3. Green. 5 minutes, 1 finger. 6 minutes, 2 fingers, and 3 minutes, 5 minutes. I'll get it right, but I'll find some color cards. 6 and 7 minutes, but I'll find some cards. Okay.
Thank you very much for the creativity, Adrian. Yes, Dino,
I'll
you
find
want to
something.
say?
And then with table topics, Adrian.
Okay, table topics is the subject is keep this. I've got the right ones here. So disorganized after. Oh, here we go.
Sorry, Adrian. I thought with regards to timing and table topics.
Yeah, it's just 1 to 2 minutes, I think, after the topic is given there. So it'll be 1 minute. I'll put a green one up, and then I'll put a red. I'll put a green one at 1 minute, and then 2 minutes would be the yellow one, and then the red one at 3 minutes. Something like that. Okay.
Fantastic.
I'm going to look for my colored cards.
Thank you. As I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about how we love to be inclusive, and it is a very intimate meeting. So for Noel, would you want to take on the R counter? Would you be keen on that?
No, I won't be keen on it for today.
Perfect. Love the
I just want to find my way around, if you don't mind.
No problem. Not a problem at all. Thank you for the honesty.
All right, perfect.
All right, cool. So that is all our role players for today. Moving on to our next session, which would be our prepared speeches section. Today we've got, as part of our brief educational slot, I'd like us to just quickly watch about 2 minutes of a speech done by the world champion of public speaking. How many of you have watched her complete speech yet? Has anybody watched the complete speech yet? Okay, the speech is available on YouTube. So it is our 2021 public champion of world speaking is Verity Price. Verity Price has been praised for her great use of vocal variety, her great use of hand gestures, using the screen, everything that Toastmasters tries to empower us to do. But as we watch the video today, I'd like us to focus on just her vocal variety, because that is part of the practice prompt that we have for our meeting today. So I'm going to, let's share sound as well. Share just a brief snippet of it. And if you'd like to watch it, please just have a look at the YouTube handle or YouTube name, and you're more than welcome to go and watch the full speech.
When I was a little girl, I used to love snuggling on my dad's lap while he read me fairy tales. Not surprisingly, I grew up wanting the fairy tale. To be happily married with beautiful kids, a gorgeous home, and a great career by 30. I never dreamed I would turn 40, unmarried, no children, and living in my sister and brother-in-law's spare room. For my ego, this was a scary tale. So I hid in the spare room, eating ice cream and binge watching Netflix. Contest chair, have you ever noticed that at your worst, you always run into someone at their best? I had dragged myself to the shops just to get more ice cream, thinking no one I know is going to be there. But there she was, that friend. You know the one. Their life is perfect. And they tell you here I am, hand on fridge, stuck, having to hear how happily ever after she has ended up. Are you married with kids and your own business? And you bought a house. Me. Great. I wanted to die. I was a mess. My life was a mess. The spare room was a mess. But this was the mess where I found the last letter my dad ever wrote me.
Okay. That is just a small snippet. I saw a lot of smiles on the face. So as part of the educational session, I'd like to get your feedback on her vocal variety. Dino and Fanuel, I saw you guys smiling all the way to your ears. What was your thoughts on her use of vocal variety? What were your observations that you can share with us?
All I'm thinking is that, why did you show that video before I say my speech? Everyone's going to be comparing her to me, and I'm just going to, what am I doing wrong? No, she, the one thing I did identify is the pitch at which she speaks, not the pace, sorry. It's very quick and it slows down, makes you think a little bit, and then she goes at it again. I like that. It's makes you catch up to what she's saying, envisioning what is happening, and then you're actually seeing that messy room, and she gives you time to think about the mess that is there, and you're actually picking it up, and then she takes you to the next place, takes you to the grocery store, which is nice.
Okay, my case is there's a lot of emotion shown, you know, each time she pauses. You could feel like you're there, you know, you can envision it, and she gave you time to process it. You know, it wasn't like forced, it was calm. Yeah, captivating. Thank you.
Thank you. Tandek and Adrian, do you guys want to add in?
I think, Daniel, you hit the nail on the head there. You did excellently in terms of, I'm just going to say ditto to that. But sort of add on to it as well is not only her sort of vocal variety, but her gestures as well, sort of help to emphasize basically what she was saying. But if I could speak like that and have all those gestures, I'd be very happy. And look as beautiful as well.
Tandeka, would you like to add?
Yes, I agree with fellow Toastmasters, and also the use of hand gestures. I mean, she really made it. You know, you actually see yourself there. You can see the friend there at the shop, and you can relate to the story. Yeah.
Thank you all very much for sharing your feedback on that. And you've all mentioned something very important that forms part of, you know, learning to express yourself. As public speakers, as we speak, we need to be able to draw our audience in with our vocal variety. We express our emotion, hence, you know, going back to that childhood experience and how we love listening to children telling stories. So as we speak today, once more, I'd like us to just go back to that part. Let's draw each other in with our stories. It's not about what you say, but it's about how you're saying it. And so if it's your story, it's your truth, we will relate to it. And I'm looking forward to hearing all of you use your vocal variety today. And Dino, no pressure. Who cares if you're not as good as it? That's why we're here to learn. And we just want to hear you tell your story in the best way that you can. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I will now move on to our first speech for today. Our first speech for today is by our immediate past president, Dino Luprini. Dino is on the dynamic leadership path and will be performing his third speech on level 3 storytelling. The title of his speech is Little Red Riding Hood. In his speech, he wants to use the story of Little Red Riding Hood as a metaphor for his working career, with the following elements, such as with him, Dino, Little Red Riding Hood. Thank you, Adrian, for pointing out the red shirt. I also did not pick that up. His 10 years stint with the same company being his family home. New projects and employers being grandma and the house, and his previous manager being Mr. Wolf. Of course, the manager being the bad guy in the story. So I'd like you all to sit back, hold on tight, because this is going to be bloody. Apart from all the red in the picture. So sorry, please welcome Dino Luprini with his speech titled Little, oh, before I go there, Adrian, would you like to give us the project details for Dino's speech?
Yeah, well, in terms of what I'll be looking for is one of the things that's already been mentioned is the clarity of his speech and that also vocal variety. So all he has to do in terms of is just do one up on our world champion there. I'm sure he's going to do a great story. I know there's a
fantastic.
I'm very intrigued because I know he's been through pretty hard times work-wise, and I love the idea of him dressing up as Red Riding Hood. And also when I saw him with his red shirt, I caught on as to what was going on. But what I was thinking at that time, but he hasn't got his little Red Riding Hood, and now he has. So vocal variety, eye contact, gestures, audience awareness. Does he feel comfortable in giving his speech? Is it his speech? Is it interesting? What sort of impact is it going to have on me? As a fellow Toastmaster with 2 boys in the past there. And one thing I remember, my father was the ultimate storyteller. He used to tell me stories about Hercules. And I used to get so upset if Hercules wasn't winning a battle and he was having a hard time. Anyway, I'm rambling on here.
Yeah.
We'll be looking at the pace. And over to you, Dino. We're really looking forward to your speech.
Ladies and gentlemen, let the bloodshed begin. Please welcome Dino Luprini with his speech, Little Red Dino Luprini.
Safety procedures are written in blood. I'm Lil Red, and I'm a professional engineer with 12 years experience of manufacturing explosives and highly dangerous chemicals. Now, I've learned, yes, I've been in a dangerous environment and I've been very safe due to the fact, not because I've experienced these problems, but I've learned from other people's challenges that they've experienced in the past. So today I would like to share a story with you that hopefully you'll be able to learn from. And if you're in the situation, you'll know how to react. So the setting is my beautiful family home. I knew all the players. Mom and dad were a fair and firm bunch. A little bit forgetful now and again, but beautiful individuals. I knew the food was always nice and tasty. The work was always predictable and happening on time. And with that, it was a little bit mundane and sometimes, some places. And I started envisioning going off and working at a beautiful place, Grandma's house. And the only problem standing between me moving on to that different experience was the flowery woods. Because one wrong step in that forest, all of a sudden your sense of income would dry up and I'd be left starving and stranded. So I never took that leap until one day, working in my office, I hear a car pull up to the front yard. Mom's voice from the shower. Dino, Little Red, please welcome our new colleague to the dinner party and get him settled in. For sure, Mom. I was always keen for a good time. So opened up the front door and there I saw this man, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, walking up the driveway. And the closer he got, I saw a a glisten in his eyes, and a mouth full of teeth. As he got to the front door, stuck up my hand and introduced myself. Hi, I'm Little Red. Hi, I'm Mr. Wolf. And dinner was underway. It was a fantastic evening, but unfortunately, I had deadlines to meet. And so, like a little ninja, I snuck out the back door without anybody noticing, and I dived straight into my work. A few hours went by, and I woke up with a throbbing headache. And I just thought it's because I dove straight into my work a little bit too hard. But what it was my entire family home being engulfed in flames. Before I was suffocated by the smokes, lies, and deception, I grabbed whatever pride I had and started crawling out the front door. And as I got out the front door, my family home collapsed behind me. This is the only home I knew that was completely destroyed and fired. I knew that the only way I could move forward from this is the only way that I could move forward was as long as I didn't sit back and think about the past and dwell in my current predicament, but move off to Grandma's house through the dreaded forests. Now, the forest is a very lonely and scary place, especially if you start running out of the bare essentials, such as puff pastries and a pension fund. So how did I overcome this fearful environment? Thankfully, I had friends, family, Google, and an internal drive for success. And that brightened up any forest, even the darkest of ones. So escaping the forest, I made it to Grandma's house. And it is an immaculate place. Huge potential, lots of place for growth. And as I got closer to the front door, I noticed that there was a little sign. Enter at your own risk. So I was keen to make sure that this was a success and make sure that Grandma was happy. So I came in there with all the pride and gusto I could bring together. I kicked down the front door and I said, Grandma, Little Red is here. The place was completely silent until I heard a little scurry to the boardroom. So I went to Grandma's boardroom, and on entering, I noticed that behind Grandma's chair, there was a silhouette. Grandma, Little Red's here. And a little voice piped up from Grandma's chair. Come closer, my little contractor. And as I started walking closer to Grandma's chair, I started noticing facial features. Grandma, what big eyes you have. All the better to micromanage you with. Grandma, what big mouth you have. All the better to betray you with. As I got closer, Grandma, what big teeth you have. All the better to belittle you with, boy. And with that, the wolf jumped out of Grandma's seat and swallowed me whole. And Mr. Wolf got up with a mouthful of teeth and really thinking he had won. He had a satisfying meal. With me, I was slowly being pushed peristaltically down towards my demise. While sitting there, I started thinking what I'd learned in the woods. Firstly, in the woods, I learned that there are animals in the workplace. There are wolves, there are sharks, there are snakes. You have to learn how to handle them. Second is you must never sit still in life, in your career, in learning, and in life, sorry, repeating. And lastly, on a daily basis, make sure you're sharpening your skill sets. And in my case, it was a sword. And with that sword, I bust out of the belly of the beast, and I was able to grab a project of success. And I actually knew from that project of success, I knew what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. And I was able to publicize that beautiful project. And from that, I wanted to become a taxidermist. And this is my pride and joy, the little wolf. So I'm Little Red. This is my bloody story. Now, what is your story that you need to share with others so that they can learn? Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Please
Thank you.
unmute.
Thank you. I must apologize. I totally forgot about timing. So through the story, but I think you were pretty
Adrian.
close. That's my usual story. I do mess up on a regular basis, but that's why I keep coming. One day I will not mess up. Thank you, Dino.
I apologize. I was over by a minute.
I think
Thanks.
this Adrian forgetting about time is a testament to how drawn we were into your story.
Yes.
Glad you enjoyed it.
Yes, we did. We did indeed.
Thank you very much, Dino Lupini, for the amazing analogy of Little Red. And I really loved how you used your vocal variety in there. You had us drawn into the story, and that was just super amazing. Never heard the story of Little Red Riding Hood told this way. Looking forward to hearing more of your fairy tale stories related to life, Dino. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, we have reached the point in our meeting where we are able to take a quick break for some coffee. Oh, wait, no, sorry, before that. Oh, Adrian didn't have the time. Dino did say he was 1 minute over, so we're going to not have that section. So we will take a short break, 10 to 15 minutes. Please grab your coffee. Feel free to come back. Let's chat a bit, and then we will continue our meeting again at 15 minutes from now would be at 10 to 10. Yes, everybody happy with that? Perfect. Alrighty.
You know?
Get some coffee. At least I picked the cards up anyway. But I got so ingrained those words: awareness, attention, intention, action, integration, and maintenance. And I better put up some questions. And I'm just thinking, the problems that we have, I don't have the ability to load my PowerPoint on my wife's computer. My other computer, after being not booting up, is decided after about 20 minutes later to boot up. I don't know what's wrong with it. Anyway, that's an aside here. So who wants to be the first volunteer? I'm going to start going from president to ex-president to Tandika and Daniel. Are you okay to be part of it, Daniel?
Adrian, just a quick
Yeah,
one. It's 2 to 3 minutes, eh?
Is it 2 to 3 minutes? Okay.
One to two.
I'll make it 2 to 3 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
Or thereabouts. Okay. So, Matthew, there's wars and all sorts of crazy things going on in this world. So tell me, question of what is important enough to go to war over? Here I'm thinking of Shakespeare, to be or not to be. That is the question, whether it is nobler than mine to suffer the slings of outrageous fortune, or by opposing end them. Matthew, what's your ideas on what is important enough to go to war over?
As soon as you unmute and start talking, I'll start the timer.
Thank you very much. What is important enough for me to go to war over? Interesting enough, yes, last night I was watching this movie 300. I don't know how many of you have watched 300. It's arguably the most phenomenal movie. And my favorite line from there is, he says, the queen asks the king, the king asks the queen, what does a king have to do to save his people? And the queen answers, she says, the question is rather, ask yourself, what would a free man do? And eventually King Leonidas decides to go to war for the sake of these people's freedom. And so it helped me thinking, when you ask the question, what is important enough for me to go to war over? And I would also say it is in pursuit of my own freedom. I'm willing to go to the darkest places in this world and do the darkest things to maintain my own personal freedom. Over the past year, having resigned from my job last week, Thursday as well, I've come to learn that freedom, my personal freedom, and how I use my time and my space, all of that is so phenomenal to me. It's the most important thing to me. And so if ever that freedom were to be threatened, be it by a 9-to-5 job, be it by someone trying to control my life, I will go to war with them to have my freedom. So I'm very selfish like that. I wouldn't go to war over someone I love. I wouldn't go to war over family. I do believe those things can be replaced. So I would go, I'm very selfish. I'm so selfish that I'm willing to go to war over my personal freedom. So yeah, that's what I'd go to war over, Adrian.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Well done.
And
Excellent, Matt.
okay, yes, give him an applause. Well done. That was a difficult question. I know, and it just sort of came to my mind. Now, this is a much easier one, and I'm going to get Dino to talk on it. You obviously live quite a sort of hectic life as far as your work is, or do you? I don't know whether it's at home, but I get the impression that you've had some tough times in your working life, and you want to. And when you have those sort of tough times, how do you, or where do you find peace when things are going tough for you? Do you meditate? Well, it's all up to you. Go ahead when you're ready.
Thanks for that introduction, Adrian. So you heard my speech. It has been a very hectic year and a half, whereby it's on a monthly basis. I'm pulled back into very dark places, reliving a specific moment that didn't really exist. And it's horrible. So Matt, you said that you'll go to the darkest of places to ensure that your freedom is pulled back. And yeah, I've been going to a dark place on a monthly basis, and it really breaks your soul. And what does that actually mean, breaking your soul? It's when people call it stress. I wake up in the middle of the night, walking around aimlessly, trying to find things that are not there. And it's really traumatic for me. So how have I actually been able to keep level-headed, stay away from the alcohol and the booze, and completely drown out those visions of those dark forests? And it's not because of the lockdown. It did help quite a bit, but it was, Adrian, you hit it on the head. It's meditation. So I have been religiously, okay, two things. Religiously been sitting down, putting on an app called Headspace, and you basically zone out. He talks you through I don't know the type of meditation it's called, but it talks you through a different process, and you concentrate on your breathing in and out, and it clears out your mind, and it really just flushes out the system, which is completely beautiful. And then from there, you feel so much lighter, and the stuff that you can't control anymore it's you're just like, okay, cool, I can't control that. I'm just going to move on with my life. And the second thing is that I really been helping out a lot is high intensity gym. That literally, I concentrate on my breathing. I'm trying to actually breathe in the air. Like meditation is like keeping the air within you, slowly pulsating up and down, whilst this gym, it pulls the air out of you, and your muscles are so intense and so involved, you have no time to think about those dark places. You just think about that constant fight. And so those are the two things I do: meditation and high intensity workout. And it's all about concentrating on that breathing. That really takes me to that peaceful place within my life. Something that we should all practice on. Thank you, Tabletop Master.
Oh, thank you, Dino. Let's give him a round of applause, because that was really a heartfelt message that came out there. Thank you, Dino.
301.
Okay, brilliant, brilliant. Okay. Andika, are you ready? Let's try this one. What do you imagine yourself doing 10 years from now?
Wow, 10 years from now, I'll be 60. So I imagine myself, first of all, not in the work that I'm currently doing. I imagine myself in my own company, having made lots and lots of money. I imagine myself only working from 8 to 12, and then having time in the afternoon. I imagine myself being fitter, more fit than I am now, and healthier than I am now at 60. So, and hopefully I'll be married. And I'm thinking about that lady who sat in her sister's spare room for days eating ice cream, because she was 40 and she was supposed to have been married at 30, and it didn't happen. So my cousin, when he was younger, he used to encourage us and say, never give up on getting married, because Mandela got married at 80. That's because he was born in 94, and he didn't realize that Mandela was married before, but he witnessed Mandela getting married and he was 80. So yeah, I also think that at 60, I'll probably be married. But if I'm not, there's still 70 and 80. Thank you. That's me in 10 years' time.
Okay, Tandika, thank you very much there. So we wish you a very happy future, and we'll look out for you. We try and get some older members for Toastmasters that who are unmarried, who will woo you, and you'll live happily ever after.
Why do they have to be older? Why don't they be younger? Hey, Matt, you married yet?
Dino, we missed you.
Yeah. And I'm just thinking what I'm going to be doing in 10 years' time, being the oldest member of the club at the moment there. Starting to push 90, but I've got a young wife that keeps me young. So
there you go. You see,
there you go.
That's how you do it.
Okay, Daniel, are you ready? I'm going to give you a nice simple one. What gets you excited about life? What gets you excited about life?
I get excited about life because of the diversity that's there. Also in terms of history, past, present, you notice certain things repeat themselves constantly. I'm excited about learning new things, meeting new people, taking challenges like now. I'm terrified of public speaking, literally. So I'm excited about learning in general. Doing new things. I love extreme sports. I've got the scars to show for it. I think I've broken every section of my body somewhere over the years. And I like reading. I enjoy that. And I'm excited about traveling. I like traveling. Food, I cook. So I'm just excited about life in general. You know, if you open your mind, there's so much there that's there to be learned, to be enjoyed, to be appreciated. I'm also excited diversity in terms of people. If you look a bit deeper, everyone's got a story. And when you get a chance to unlock those stories, it's one of the most exciting things that one can do. People have gone through a lot. When you get to know that, you get to understand how people behave or act in a certain way, because they've got a story behind them. I'm excited about that. Yeah, life is exciting. There are two sides of the coin. I'm constantly looking at the other side. Thank you.
Thank you, Faniel. That was great. Let's give him a big round of applause there. I can see you can do a
Nice,
7
Faniel. Excellent. Good job.
Yeah, you did very well there, Faniel. Thank you so much there. I'm just curious, these martial arts, whatever it is you're doing, can you elaborate a little? How you managed to break all your bones there? Don't you hit the other person harder than he hits you?
No, no, I did biking, bit of skydiving, played a bit of rugby, broke a few bones.
Yeah.
Yeah, those kind of things. Like high impact stuff.
Okay.
I don't play golf.
You don't play golf.
Oh,
In terms of your cycling, is this mountain biking or what type of cycling did you get involved with?
No, not cycling. Off-road, dirt biking.
Motorbikes.
Adrian, you
that's
said high impact, meaning that you have to use an engine with fuel.
Yeah. Okay.
Not two little tiny little legs over here. Want to go fast.
In my heyday, I was into mountain biking. I came off quite a few times, but nothing as drastic as you probably got into if you broke all your bones there.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Righty ho, thank you. Faniel, especially you in your first speech there.
Thank you.
You're very cool, calm and collected. So we're looking forward to perhaps more speeches. Okay, back to you, Matthew.
Thank you very much, Adrian. Love the table topic session today. Very, very provocative. Tandeka Dor, if you find yourself age 70, not married, invite us over. We're happy to have ice cream with you. We can all be, together in the same room eating ice cream. I doubt there's anyone here that does not love ice cream. Alrighty, we will now move into the evaluation session of our meeting today. By the way, Fanuel, congratulations on taking the first step to do table topics. It's never easy for any first-time guest or first-time speaker to come into a room of people and speak out. If you ask anybody in the room here, the first time they did a Toastmasters table topic session, it was probably the scariest moment for them in that meeting. So we understand the courage that it takes to stand up and actually say something in a crowd of people. So well done for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Alrighty, Mrs. General Evaluator, I will now hand over to you to take us through the evaluation session of our meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters, I will introduce Mr. Adrian Hind. Adrian is evaluating the speech of Dino, the Little Red Riding Hood. So over to you, Adrian.
Thank you, Sandika there. And Dino, you entertained me greatly there. My mind was sort of getting lots of visual pictures of the actual action that took place with Little Red Riding Hood, and you were Little Red Riding Hood there. I love the way that you dressed up for the occasion, adding a little bit of drama to what was going on there. In terms of the clarity, your story came over very well. I was able to sort of picture you there, living at home, and I could see the connections all the time between your personal life, your home life, and also your working life there. And so you couple those two things, the story and your own life, very well then. So well done. No problems in the clarity of your speech there. I was able to follow you all the way, and I really like the imagery of the big bad wolf and the connection with your ex-boss there, and all the things that he did to upset you. Your gestures, plenty of gestures there, so no problems there at all. Vocal gestures, yes, gestures good. And I felt that you were talking to me personally as well as everybody else there. So you were certainly, I think, aware of us sort of watching you. I'm just curious to know, were you aware that we were watching you? I mean, you could see that our eyes were riveted on what you were going to do next. We'll say next. You were certainly very comfortable. I think there was one moment there where you had to think a little bit as to where you were going there. That was the only, if anything, it's not negative at all. You just had to collect yourself and get on with the story there. Interest, it was very well constructed, particularly getting the analogy right between the story of the big bad wolf and your ex-boss there. So splendid. And you certainly had an impact on me. So overall, and the pace was great. So I really enjoyed it, and we're looking forward to your next speech. Dino, thank you very much for an excellent speech there.
Thank you, Adrian. Thank you for that.
Okay. Is that it? Do I go back to you, Matthew, now? Or?
Back to Tandika.
Oh, sorry, it's
Oh,
back
yes,
to-
sorry, Tandika.
Thank you very much, Adrian, for that informative, not informative, yes, informative and constructive feedback of Dino's speech. With that, I hand over to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
You, Tandeka. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dino. As part of your role as evaluation chair, you can also call up but Adrian was timekeeper. I don't know how we're going to manage that one. Adrian, did you record your time when you're speaking now for your evaluation session?
Oh yeah, Dino did all the work there. I just ummed and ahed, and Dino came up with with us. I was pretty close, wasn't I, Dino?
2 minutes 33.
Okay.
Adrian's evaluation time. Well done.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I will then now take over from our evaluation chair there. So I'd like to call on our meeting role players, which would be firstly our timekeeper, then our counter and grammarian. So Mr. Timekeepers, plural, could you guys please give us the times of the meetings and the table, I think the table topic sessions as well?
Okay. I'm looking at Dino now. I think was it 2 minutes 33 or something?
No,
like
Adrian, you can't steal my times that I clocked in. What are the times that you clocked in? And then we'll see who wins.
that?
How many people did you clock in?
How many people did I clock in? No, I got sidetracked. I was so intent on, I just had one of those senior moments, you know, and I didn't even think of starting my watch.
Okay, so I'm here to save the day. Here I
Thank
come.
you, Dino.
So Dino's speech was 8 minutes 30. He spoke for 1.5 minutes over the allocated time. Naughty, naughty.
Okay, I won't chastise you because you're doing
Yeah.
it yourself.
No, too hard. Okay, cool. Then with regards to the table topic session, Matt, you spoke for 1 minute 30. Nice job. Dino spoke again for a very long time, 3 minutes. Love the sound of your voice. Tandeka, also nice. You clocked in 1 minute 45. Perfect. Then, Franwell, for your first shot at this, you spoke for 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Well done. A lot of people can't even get over 1 minute, but we're able to piece together 2 minutes 15. Fantastic.
Well
You
done.
didn't show any nerves. Well done. And that's the time slots. Thank you.
Okay, sweet. Then thank you very much. In terms of meeting times, did anyone keep track of that, or did we miss that one?
I didn't. Mr.
See the
Timekeeper.
faces. It's all right. We'll move on to the Grammarian and our counter report. Okay, so in terms of the word of the day, no one used that one, so that was a 0 count. Part of that, I think I didn't post it in the chat, and I wasn't reminding anyone, so we didn't get to use the word of the day today, which is okay. In terms of the use of the good English language, starting off with Dino. From your speech, I liked the words that you used, which was like a ninja, like a little ninja. I dove out the black door. Everybody knows what those little ninja looks like. They're almost invisible, and when they move, you hardly ever see them. So when you mentioned that, I just pictured Dino in a ninja suit, like trying to dive out the back door. The second interesting phrase that you use, suffocated by the lies and deception. So descriptive. Love that. Imagine the lies and the description and the deception floating around you, and you're just inhaling and suffocating from everything. So very descriptive use of the language. And this one was also quite interesting. Grabbed whatever pride I had, as though the pride was laying on the floor. All your pride was on the floor, and you were just there grabbing whatever pride you had left. So I loved your very descriptive use of the English language today. But more exciting was the descriptive uses in the speeches. So teeth, belittle, eyes, micromanage. I thought that was brilliant in terms of metaphoric languages. So well done on that one, Dino. Adrian, I loved the question, the use of the English language in the question, what would you go to war over? At the back of my head, also, it was a question of what would you die for? And so the double barrel meaning behind it was very, very, very brilliant. Now going on to the and us. Dino, your favorite word for today was and. You used that 3 times, which is it's good. We're seeing improvement in that department. Tandeka, your favorite word of the day was so. You used so as a crutch word in between sentences. Adrian, your favorite word of the day was and. So every time you'd say and, it would be followed by an So that was your favorite word of the day. Matt's favorite word of the day was and Fanuel, your favorite word of the day was So Tandeka used so once. Adrian, you used and 4 times. Used and twice. No, it wasn't twice. It was 5 times. Matt used 6 times, and Fanuel used 5 times. And. So I'd like us to just take a leaf from Dino today. Something that I did notice, Dino, every time before you use the word and you would take a pause to sort of breathe and catch or figure out your next sentence. So I think as a club, to avoid using more fuller words, maybe when we feel the temptation to say and or find the temptation to say let's take a pause and then think about what we'd like to say and then continue. So that is my feedback as the grammarian for today. Overall, I think this is a well done. We're getting better at this. So well done to all of us for this. And that concludes my report as grammarian. Who do I hand over to now? Who's next? Oh, I'd like to now hand over to our general evaluator, who will give us a general evaluation of the meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Hello, Toastmasters. Hello again. Back with the general evaluation. So, again. Start again. Fellow Toastmasters, I'm back again with the general evaluation. With regards to timeliness, our meeting, we were on time. We started, okay, we were all online before 9 o'clock, but then we started at 3 minutes after 9. I don't think we did badly there because we were hoping for more people to join us, but we started on time. Enthusiasm. Everybody was alert, enthusiastic, and a special shout out to Dino with his speech that just had a whole lot of action and kept us all interested. And with regards to preparation, I think the speech, the person that was giving the speech was well prepared, even had the regalia, you know, and all the role players also were prepared. Unfortunately, with regards to, because of shortage of people have had to be assigned roles on the spot. So, but you did very well there, Adrian. You know, you managed to get your color codes. They were there. I mean, most of us, sometimes we don't get, we don't manage to get everything. You see? So at least you managed to get your color codes there. Maybe though you forgot to count, but yeah, so the fact that people are allocated roles very late affects our general performance. But people are able to step in there. I mean, Dino stepped in to assist you, and that was great. Also with regards, unfortunately, nobody used the word of the day, as Matt said. However, our meeting, generally our meeting we were dealing with, it was deep. I mean, we had to reflect on life. Dino's speech, even though it was, you know, he gave it in a creative way and made us laugh sometimes, but the issues that he was talking about were deep issues, you know, how we reflect on life. And even the table topics, what would you go to war for? And we had to really look inside and think, come up with real answers. And I also liked the speech, the impromptu speech of our guest, Fenwell. So the meeting really was deep, but jovial. So I liked it. I think it's quite motivational. Dino, I liked when you said the workplace is full of animals. And I was like, yeah, this is a big lesson that I learned myself, you know, all sorts, serpents, backstabbers, whatever, you know. So that is the workplace. Well, it's not a place where we just go and make money and we live happily ever after. No, we were misled. So, yeah. Overall, I think we kept to time. When I look at the agenda, we are well within our allocated times. So we're doing well. We are now 4 minutes to the end of my evaluation. Or is it 2 minutes to? So thank you very much for the opportunity. I hope I didn't mess up my role. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if this applies for first-time role plays, but I'd like us to just stand up and give Thandeka a round of applause for the first time as general evaluator for the meeting and the amazing job that she did. I love how we all just bending over to get back into the camera frame.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well done, Thandeka.
Yes.
You definitely did it brilliantly, and I, as I was mentioning earlier, definitely proud and excited by the fact that you're taking on meeting roles, so many new meeting roles for you so frequently. I don't know, could you just share again? I had missed the part when Dino asked what was the thought process behind this. I had been kicked out at the meeting, so could you just share that with us again, please?
No, I was saying I had been doing things that I'm comfortable with, things that, taking up roles that I thought were easy. I'm not gonna, mess it up. I can't really mess up counting hours and timekeeper and all of that. So with Grammarian, remember my explanation where I said, I actually hate it because as a Black person, you grow up being corrected, your language, your grammar and whatnot. And with us taking our children to Model C schools, they end up coming up, correcting our pronunciation. So it's something that I really wanted to stay away from.
Yeah.
But I've forced myself now to say, okay, let me do it. Let me tell somebody, let me evaluate someone's grammar, which is something that I don't like it when it's done to me. Yeah, so that's getting out of my comfort zone. Thanks.
Thanks very much, General Evaluator Thandeka. And you've mentioned the important thing. Yes, Tina. I saw your finger.
Yeah, my broken finger. Thandeka, I just want to comment that it's amazing. The one thing I've learned within Toastmasters is how to give an evaluation that actually promotes a person for them to come back to do it again. And it's an amazing skill set that you can learn here in Toastmasters, is that you can give a helpful, constructive feedback. The person wants to come and give more. So I'm sure your children haven't learned that skill. They just go, "Mommy, you don't use it like that. You're so silly." And it's really hard for them. And then you just, like what you said, you don't want to do that going forward. You don't want to be in that situation where, oh, I have to comment on other people because I don't like getting that. So no, but hopefully, Matt, we can maybe look at our next education just to look at helpful feedback that can promote people wanting to speak more. Because for me, I want to say another speech from after Adrian's evaluation. I want to give it a go again. I'm really keen. Yeah.
You're definitely going to love the on a point section there. Thank you very much for feeding back into that, Dino. And yeah, Thandeka, I think just on that one as well, part of being a Toastmaster, we all join Toastmasters for personal development purposes. And in order for us to develop as people, we constantly have to get out of our comfort zones. So we definitely applaud you for taking that risk of getting out of your comfort zone. I'd also now like to open up the general evaluation session for the meeting to Fanuel. Are you open to sharing with us feedback on how you found the meeting today? And Dino and Adrian, you're also more than welcome to share if you'd like.
I just want to say, first and foremost, thank you for having me. The experience has been amazing. And I'd like to do it again. I think that says a lot.
definitely. Thank you for joining in today, Fanuel, and we're looking forward to seeing you in our next meeting then.
Yes, definitely. Great.
Yeah.
Fanuel,
From
how
my
did
side,
you
Matt,
can I sort of butt in there? Fanuel, how did you get to know about our meeting? Because I invited a few guests, but you were not on the list that I invited.
Okay. I had to do an impromptu speech at work, and it was a disaster. Seriously, it was a disaster. And I've always been meaning to join, you know, so I these fluctuations where if it's prepared, maybe it's not so bad, but I had to do an impromptu and it was disastrous. You know, one of those that 2 days later, you're still wondering what happened. So basically, I went and just Googled, you know, in terms of which Toastmasters is close to me, right? And I found you guys on Facebook. So I pressed the button.
Okay.
Say, let me try.
excellent.
Thanks.
And
I just,
yeah, sorry, go
yeah,
ahead.
I was just going to say, have we got? Can you put in the chat box your contact details?
Absolutely. Which ones do you need?
Just your email and your phone number,
Okay, sure.
so we can. I can invite you again.
Yeah,
Sure.
and well, how funny is it that you have to fall flat on your face somewhere else to actually figure out, wait, I need to fix up this problem I've got going here.
To tell you, it was terrible. That's all I can say.
Don't worry,
But
it
just
happens,
look,
eh?
yeah, I just said, let me do something about it. You know, that's the beauty of learning and getting out of your comfort zone. Look, it can't get worse than that. You know, can only get better.
Well, I don't know.
I shouldn't tempt fate, eh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
We've all watched comedy shows where your pants maybe fall down as you're giving this amazing speech. Yeah, it can get so much worse.
Yeah.
Unless it's part of your performance, I don't know.
No. Yeah. Okay, great.
I'm happy. Matt, just from my side, with regards to our meetings, yes, there's a low attendance at the moment, and we have to try and increase the amount of attendees. And I think we need to. What is the plan on bringing in more people? How would we advertise or market more individuals coming to our meetings? What do you think a good idea would be, a good strategy? Does anybody have an idea of how to bring more individuals in?
Yeah, I get messages as the Vice President of Membership. I do have Toastmasters International actually gives me contacts every now and then to follow up on. And, you know, I try to, you know, I gave about 4 people an invite from past people. And that's not been very successful, but I think this idea of, you know, Fanuel sort of found us on the website, and that seems to, you know, can we promote that anymore in other ways? The thing that I find disconcerting is our current, we've got 11 sort of paid up members in terms of not getting any responses. And I'm just wondering why that's not happening. Is there anything we can do?
So Adrian, when last did you contact all 11 members?
Well,
So I know we spoke earlier in the week, which was great.
Yeah.
Which really actually pushed me to come to this meeting and show that, hey, listen, you've got a speech coming along, get going, get practicing, which is great. But actually it was like, someone cares about me.
Yeah.
So that was a phone call, but that was.
I think that's what I need to do. I did send everybody a message about today's meeting and sort of invited them and giving them the ID and passcode. But I think I really need to just talk to them one-on-one on the phone. I think this would be my mission, I think, for the next couple of weeks before the next meetings.
Yeah, you can use WhatsApp calling, by the way. I think you called me off a normal landline.
Okay.
It helps with that telephone bill.
I probably might need some
Okay.
help, not to, but Matt's my mentor when it comes to all this online stuff. So he's helped me, particularly with this getting used to our new website there. I'm not sure whether the people are used to the website or tried the website.
So
I think yeah, go Matt.
if I may jump in there, the website I'd like to be more for the members, pushing it more for the members, because it makes setting up the agenda and the role players a lot easier, because you guys just go on, you choose a role, and it makes it a lot
I really
easier.
like that.
I would like, from a VPPR perspective, I'd like to push people more towards our social media pages, specifically our Facebook page, because that's the one that's more active.
Okay.
So, on the question of how can we get members, how can we get more attendance, even if once a week or twice a week, if all of us can just go and like whatever post is put up that week, and maybe share it into your circle or whatever. Just let people know that we are around as the Bryanston Breakfast Club and that we meet on Saturdays. The second challenge that I'd like to pose, and like we always say, even though we're asking you, you are at privilege, you are privy to say no to anything, right? So just a challenge for anyone that's keen on taking it on. Maybe let's bring a guest to a meeting. Like if we've got 2 meetings a month, maybe bring a guest a month, or a guest to a meeting a month. That would also work.
Yeah.
One other thing that we're trying as the Exco team is, because we understand the shortage of members in our clubs, we're also outsourcing to see if we can ask other Toastmasters from other clubs to just come and visit our clubs and take on some of the roles, just so that we're not inundated. Ooh, that was a nice word, inundated with taking on too many roles. So yeah, in terms of getting more attendance, those are the 3 ideas that I've got from the Exco front and the VPPR front for us to try and run with.
Cool, I like that. It sounds promising, absolutely. Only thing is, I haven't logged onto Facebook because it just zaps all my time. So I literally just stay very far away from it. Is there any other social media that we are on? I think Meetup is the one place that's the area that pulled me in. So is that the other social account we got?
Yeah, I mean, even on Meetup, because we can always just add the links to our social media pages on Meetup, and then they can go from there.
Okay.
So from your side, Dino, seeing that maybe you're not so active on the Facebook page, I guess it would be things like looking at, is there anyone that ever asks or speaks to you about public speaking? Is there anyone that you know of that you can invite to the club? So just small things like that. I'd like us to use what we have to our advantage, and you're not forced to go out and then try, delve in social media places where you're not, or anything like that. Use your network, whatever resources you have in your immediate network. I'm happy with that.
Okay, happy with that. Cool.
Okay, cool. So just going quickly into on a point, I want to thank you all again for the vocal variety today and making use of the vocal variety. As part of our next session, I just wanted to share with you guys what you can expect from the club space in the next coming weeks. So all the educational sessions that we've been doing so far are part of a bigger plan. So we started off with, can you scroll? We started off with the speech mastery, speech and craft. No, we didn't start off with just learning how to speak and being comfortable with speaking. That was our first educational session. From getting comfortable with speaking, then we moved into speech, craft, and mastery. That was delivered by Tanya in our last meeting. Today, then we focused on vocal variety. Next week, I wanted us to, our educational session for next week was supposed to be on giving effective evaluations by Chantal Ashley. She's a great evaluator, and I've had the privilege of engaging with her in other clubs. But unfortunately, I think she'll only be available on the 13th. So I've moved that to the 13th. So next week, our theme would be Courage the Cowardly Dog, and the educational topic would be finding the courage to tell your story. So for the next few months, these are just some of the educational topics that you can expect in the meeting themes that we have out up until the end of the year. So for the remainder of the year, every educational topic is going to be feeding into the next one. In November, we've got the listening is a skill. Then on the 27th of November, attention to detail. We've also got a guest speaker coming in, and she's going to be giving a short educational on just being able to read and understand your audience. And then ending off the year, we're going to have a what's next. We don't have a speaker for that one, but we do have an educational topic. And yeah, as we go along, I'll continue to share the rest of the educationals with you guys, just so that you know what to expect as a club and where we're going with all of this. And then lastly, I want to thank you all for your improv and adaptability during today's meeting. Adrian, for finding resources on the spot. Dino, for using that little highlighter during your speech. That was really hilarious. Loved it. And for Tandeka taking on your first role, as a general evaluator, and for Noel for finding the courage to speak up. I want to definitely appreciate you all for this. At the end of the day, the meeting club is only as fun as the degree to which the members are willing to engage. And I must say, you guys brought your A game today. So thank you all very much for that. I'd like to now open it to On a Point for anybody that would like to say something on a point before we close off for today.
Matt, just from my side, I'm just going to rehash what I put in the committee meeting group, WhatsApp group. We need to just make sure that we are here to create a platform for people to speak, a safe, positive environment, and that's why we're here. If we don't have spots filled, such as Toastmaster, a speaker, or other specific critical spots, the meeting is not going to have so much value. But the main value for this platform is having an environment that we can speak and we can learn from. We can actually interact with each other, and we learn from those interactions, and we give each other feedback on those interactions. So I understand what you said earlier, that you want to have every meeting like tip-top shape, and it needs to be adding value to all members every single time. And yes, we must strive for that every single time. But sometimes we are going to trip up. But bare minimum is this platform. So if we had cancelled the meeting, Fanuel wouldn't have been able to give his 2.5 minutes impromptu speech, which he did fantastically. And I think he's a little bit hard on himself with regards to how he failed at work. I think it didn't go as badly as he thought, unless his boss told him it was really bad. But otherwise, I think he's got a lovely voice, and he's got the skill set to become a good speaker. It's just all about practice. And this today was one of the first steps of many. So that's my little 2 cents. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
It was very nicely put, Dino. Very nicely put there.
Thanks.
Anyone else?
I just want to Tandika there. It basically, I think I'm in a similar position to you in terms of getting frightened of taking on roles there. But I've got a little mantra: nothing ventured, nothing gained, which I keep on repeating to myself when I'm feeling that way. Yeah. And Dino, when we were deciding whether to postpone the meeting or not, and then you came up, and I thought, you said nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Yeah, there you go. I like it. Cool.
Alrighty. If there's nothing else, we can then conclude today's meeting. Before we wrap off, can we take a quick picture? Everybody, please put on your best smile. Show us the best side of your face.
Oh, isn't she beautiful?
I think we should rename Dino Red Little Red.
Yes.
I can do that quickly.
You know, Dino, I've had issues with that look.
With which look?
A
Well, the red
hoodie.
look.
You know what? Okay, Matt, tell me when you're done taking the picture so I can speak.
Okay. Is everyone ready?
Jeez.
Oops, not yet. Not yet. Oh, Tandeka, I got you in the middle of a speech. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
The timer on, hey?
Manuel, if you'd like to be tagged on any of our social media posts, please do send me one of your social media handles, Facebook or whatever, and then I will tag you.
All right.
That's
Excellent.
if you'd like.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Tandeka, you
So,
were telling
yeah,
us
saying, when I watched, I don't know if you guys have watched The Passion of the Christ movie.
Yes.
I've only read that book.
Oh, okay. So the movie, there is a part where there's this guy who's supposed to be the devil. But they don't tell us that this is the devil. But from, if you've read the story, you then conclude that it's the devil. He's wearing a hoodie like that, and it's black. So he just appears. He's always wearing a hoodie. So as we were discussing the movie, like the devil. So I used to say to my daughter, stop wearing a hoodie like that, because devil. But I gotten over that.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Alrighty then, everyone. I'm going to stop the recording and end the meeting there. Thank you all once again. And if you'd like to hang around and chat, just let me know. And yeah, other than that, have an amazing Saturday.
Mhm.